do it because I love you. Linda screams from the floor, her fingers tightly clutching David's trousers as tears ruin her makeup. She looks up at him, her voice cracking with a desperate panic she has never shown before. I am only trying to protect our home, David. Please, don't leave me.
David stands by the window, holding a cold cup of coffee. Outside, the sun is bright, but inside the living room, the air feels heavy. Linda sits on the couch, her eyes fixed on her phone. David clears his throat gently. "My mother called today," he says, trying to smile. "She wants us to come over for dinner this weekend." Linda does not look up. She types quickly, her fingers tapping loudly against the screen. The silence stretches for a long minute until she finally speaks. "Choose between them or your home, David." She walks out, leaving a cold chill. It is midnight. The house is completely dark, but David cannot sleep. He lies on his back, staring at the ceiling. Beside him, Linda turns away, pulling the blanket tightly to her side. David remembers when they used to talk until sunrise. Now, every word feels like a trap. Earlier, she told him his friends were bad influences. She said they were trying to ruin their marriage. David wants to believe her, but his heart feels heavy. He reaches out to touch her shoulder, but she pulls away. The distance between them feels like an ocean now. The dining table is set for two. A small chocolate cake sits in the center with a single unlit candle. David sits alone in his best shirt, watching the wall clock strike 9. He sends a simple text, "Are you coming home?" No answer. An hour later, the front door clicks open. Linda walks in, carrying shopping bags. She looks at the cake with a cold, blank face. "I forgot," she says simply. She walks past him into the bedroom without saying happy birthday. David blows out the candle in the dark. David stands in the hallway, holding his phone. He wants to call his sister, but he stops. Last week, Linda screamed for hours because she caught him talking to his family. She told him that a loyal husband only needs his wife. David looks at the bedroom door. It is firmly shut. He feels like a criminal in his own house, hiding to do normal things. His hands shake as he deletes his sister's number from his call log. He drops his hands to his sides. The walls of the hallway feel closer today. Dinner is served in total silence. The only sound is the scraping of forks on ceramic plates. David tries to break the ice. "The food tastes good, Linda," he says softly. Linda stops eating. She stares at him with cold, dark eyes. "Are you mocking me?" she asks, her voice dangerously quiet. Before he can answer, she pushes her plate off the table. It crashes onto the hard floor, breaking into 100 sharp pieces. She walks away. David sits completely still, his heart hammering against his chest. He fears what comes next. It is a rainy Tuesday afternoon. Linda is out at work. David walks into the guest room and opens the old wardrobe. His hands are trembling. He reaches into the back and pulls out a small black duffel bag. He quickly packs 3 simple shirts, 2 pairs of trousers, and his important documents. He hides the bag under a pile of old winter blankets. His heart beats so fast he can hear it in his ears. Every small sound outside makes him jump. If she finds this bag, his life will become a living hell. Linda stands by the kitchen counter, holding David's laptop. Her face is twisted in anger. David walks in and stops completely still. "Who is she?" Linda demands, pointing at a business email from a female colleague. David shakes his head quickly. "It is just work, Linda, I swear." Linda deletes the email and shuts the laptop hard. "You are a liar," she whispers. She takes his car keys from the hook and puts them in her pocket. "You stay inside today." She locks the front door from the outside, leaving him trapped. David stands before the bathroom mirror, looking at his face. He barely recognizes the man staring back at him. His eyes look tired, and the bright spark he used to have is completely gone. He remembers when he used to laugh loudly and tell jokes. Now, he only speaks in quiet whispers. He touches his thin cheek. He is disappearing bit by bit to keep the peace. Suddenly, Linda's voice barks from the bedroom, demanding her shoes. David flinches, fixes his face quickly and steps back into the cold arena. Linda is taking a long bath. The bathroom door is locked and the water is running. David runs to the kitchen and dials his mother's number from memory. The phone rings twice. "Hello, my son." His mother's warm voice fills his ear. Tears rush to David's eyes, burning his skin. "Mom," he whispers, his voice cracking with deep emotion. "I am..." Before he can finish, the bathroom door opens. David hangs up the phone instantly, his body freezing. Linda stands there, watching him with deep, silent suspicion. Two couples from church are visiting for dinner. David tries to smile and talk normally, but Linda watches his every move. When the guest husband asks David about his new work project, David begins to speak happily. Suddenly, Linda interrupts with a sharp, sweet laugh. "Oh, David doesn't handle big projects well. He gets too stressed." The room goes quiet and awkward. David lowers his eyes, his face burning with deep shame. Under the table, Linda's foot presses hard against his shoe, a silent command to stay quiet. David sits on the living room rug, looking around the beautifully decorated house. They have expensive furniture, a big television, and fine curtains. To the outside world, they have a perfect life. But to David, this place is a golden prison. He looks at the heavy iron locks on the front door. He realizes that material things mean nothing when your mind is dying. Linda comes downstairs, dressed in an expensive silk robe. She looks down at him like a guard watching a prisoner. He looks away from her. "I will change, David," Linda says, her voice suddenly soft and gentle. She holds his hands tightly in the bedroom. "I only do these things because I love you and I am afraid to lose you." For a second, David wants to believe her. He wants his old wife back. But then he looks into her eyes and sees no real sorrow. It is just another game to make him stay. He nods his head slowly, playing along, but inside, something has died forever. He knows the truth now. The trap is set. The sun rises beautifully on a quiet Sunday morning. Linda is fast asleep, snoring softly under the heavy duvet. David sits on the edge of the bed, completely dressed. He looks at his wedding ring. It feels heavy, like iron weights pulling him down. He remembers the vows he made years ago. But a marriage should be a safe harbor, not a cage that kills your spirit. He stands up quietly, making no sound on the floorboards. The illusion is completely broken. He knows what he must do now. David walks quietly to the guest room. He pulls the hidden black duffel bag from under the old blankets. His hands are steady now, no longer shaking. He walks down the stairs, his boots making no noise on the soft carpet. He enters the kitchen. The morning light shines on the clean counter. He stands there for a brief moment, looking at his house keys. He carefully slides the silver ring off his finger. He places the ring and the keys side by side on the cold counter. David steps out of the front door and closes it gently behind him with a soft click. He walks down the stone pathway without looking back at the house. The cool morning air hits his face, and for the first time in many years, he takes a deep, full breath. His heart feels light. He opens the small front gate, steps onto the main road, and walks toward the bright sunrise. He has nothing but a small bag, but he is finally free.